Hey, what you doing over there? Nothing. Nothing. Yep, nothing. Did you forget? Forget what? Forget to write the intro to the newest video. No, of course not, you dork. It's posted on our Patreon. Alright, hey everyone, so I wanted to try something a little bit different today, and I'm just going to record some voice over some video that I shot to kind of explain this video, and I think it'll help a little bit better than maybe how we did it previously where I was doing it while it was going on. So this is tier 5 Woe, Woe the Willow. You can actually skip that first group of NPCs if you go straight off to the right, and then if you hug that right wall in that little puddle there, you can just kill the second group and go straight in. As you see, we didn't properly skip them, run around them, and we kind of got, I got myself killed. For this instance, I'm doing the first boss as a DPS because it's really, you can't really, the first boss, you can't really tank him. He just kind of like decides he's going to attack whoever he wants to. So having a heavy is nice that can taunt, just so that you have someone for him to bounce back to after he decides to do his attacks. But otherwise, she's just gonna hop around, and it doesn't really matter as long as you have a healer. And then there's gonna be a couple things you're gonna want to look out for when you're doing this instance. So she's gonna say a couple of different things, and I'm going to just I'll freeze the frame or whatever when that happens, and I'll highlight it and be like, hey, watch out for this, right? I'll put a little notification on there. So, I hope you enjoy the video. I hope this helps you. And tell me what you think, if you like it better or you don't like it. Fall before us. It is a directional based throw. She'll throw you about 10 meters, and if you're within 5 meters of her. Now, she will stay in place, but she will turn to face you. So if you, as you'll notice in this video, if you're sitting here and you are, either sitting there and tanking it, right, you get thrown and take a big amount of damage, you possibly get thrown into the puddles, take more damage, or you can actually get your teammates hit if you run a direction and they don't move out of the way, because it is a cone or a directional attack, so it will hit them even if they're not the target. And so it's important to get out of range if you're in melee. Now, the next attack is Witness Our Might. So she's going to kind of crouch down after yelling Witness Our Might, and then you got maybe about 3 or 4 seconds to kind of get out of there, and that's at 15 meters, like 10 to 15 meters away. And if you don't, it'll throw you about 20 to 30 meters away, which is horribly far. you really don't want to get hit by that. It also does a ton of damage, especially if you're the target. I think it hits twice if you're the target. There have been a few times when we've just gotten killed and not really understanding how. And I'm pretty sure that the reason, after watching this over again, the reason is that you're getting double hit is because you're the one that targets. She'll target some of you. She won't just kind of crouch down and do that. If you're not in range, she'll run over, like if you have a hunter or something, or a lore master or a minstrel that's not in melee range for instantly, she might target him or her and run over and choose to do the fall before us, or the witness our might. Her last attack is going to be our corruption runs deep, and she's going to kind of do that crouch down thing again, and you got maybe 4 or 5 seconds kind of. You can actually cancel this. We didn't do it in the video because we were a little bit slow on the DPS, but we did do it actually a couple other times. When we were not recording. But you can actually, if you get her to the 25%, you can actually cancel that our corruptions run deep. And the reason is because her giving you corruptions is kind of like a DPS check. And so it's saying, hey, you're being slow. Here's some extra damage, right? Here's some extra puddles that you're gonna have to deal with. Because if you notice throughout the video, throughout this fight, there's more and more puddles, and it goes all the way to the point where everything is covered in puddles. Now, the only difference is that, you know, the DPS speed, so people will be like, oh, it's a DPS race. You see we drop puddles, we would all just go to the same, or near spot and drop them all there so they wouldn't be in the way. And that's kind of what you got to do if you're slower on the DPS. And she actually gets to use our corruption runs deep. If you do hit to the 25%, right, as you can tell, we're pretty close on each of those. The attack won't go off and everyone won't get the eye, and it won't be a big deal. It'll be a good job for you. So at this point, we've reached the final phase of this boss fight. As you can tell, we have every single square covered in the puddles. But if you look at where I'm standing right now, it shows the animation on the ground, but it doesn't actually do damage, because the case is that there are actually 2 of the puddles of those 4 bottom ones that actually are faux puddles or fake puddles, where they don't actually have the dot damage. And when you're doing this on tier 3 and above, that's what you want to look for so that you can beat this boss fight. And as you can tell, we're trying to keep out of those puddles, and we're actually running into the damaging ones as necessary, so that we can avoid being hit by her 2 big throw attacks. And see, there you go. All completed. Put on your horseshoe to loot. There we go. So I'm going to speed this up since it's a really, really slow kind of boss fight. So for this one, I'm going to switch to, this is the second boss of Woe, I'm going to switch to Blue Line, and I'm going to tank this. I found that it's actually a lot easier to do this one in blue. So I shield wall the DPS and let the healer just heal, so they can heal themselves, and they can heal myself, and they don't have to worry about the DPS. Generally, if you have a tactical DPS, you're going to want to send them off. Like, if you have a Runekeeper or a Lore Master, you're going to send them to, they have to kill the ranged spirits because those decrease tactical damage. The ones that get real close are going to decrease melee damage. So we have a champion, so he's just using his area effect to kill those guys. It's not a huge deal, but actually, if you have a hunter, specifically a hunter or a yellow warden, which is a range, which is just like physical damage but range DPS, they could just completely ignore the spirits and just go straight for the Morgul Blade. Assuming your tank and your healer are okay with that and can handle all the extra adds all over the place. We handled it pretty well. You know, I was getting pounded by those spirits, but it wasn't too big of an issue. And, you know, the important part of this fight is just remember to keep interrupted and don't move back and forth in between those puddles very much. So there you go. That's it's the whole thing. You just literally just sit there, keep the blade interrupted, and then you're done.